Tabitha Tanner, a 33-year-old woman from Chicago, Illinois, was a vibrant and loving individual known for her passion for cooking and her uplifting presence online. But her promising life came to a devastating end on the night of July 7th, 2022, inside an apartment located on the 4500 block of North Magnolia. What began as a normal evening turned into a nightmare when a confrontation escalated, leaving Tabitha fatally injured after a fall from the fifth floor. At the center of the tragedy were complicated relationships, hidden truths, and a heated dispute that spiraled into violence. She visited her boyfriend, but unfortunately, another woman, who was pregnant unexpectedly, showed up at the apartment that night. The man obviously was cheating, aware that he might get caught. He grabbed Tabitha and threw her out of window from the firth floor. The following morning, authorities were called to the scene when the body of Tabitha was found. She was naked and she had succumbed to her injuries. Police pieced together what happened through surveillance footage, witness accounts, and physical evidence, quickly determining that foul play was involved. What followed was an investigation that would uncover betrayal, violence, and ultimately, justice for Tabitha. This is Tabitha Tanner's story. Tabitha Tanner was born on December 6, 1988, in Chicago, Illinois, to her parents, Antoinette Tanner and Ben Worrell. Growing up, she was known for her sweet personality and her passion for life. She especially loved cooking, a talent she often showcased online in adulthood, where she also enjoyed motivating and inspiring her social media followers. Tabitha was hardworking, dedicated, kind-hearted, and beautiful inside and out. At the age of 33, she met 38-year-old Tyson Tillman, a graduate of Collins High School and Lakeland College. The two developed feelings for each other and eventually entered into a romantic relationship. For a while, things seemed to be going well between them. On July 7th, 2022, Tabitha went to visit Tyson at his apartment, located on the 4500 block of North Magnolia. The two were spending time together when, around 10:50 p.m., another woman arrived and knocked at the door. Doorbell cameras from neighbors showed the woman pacing in the hallway for about 10 minutes as Tyson refused to open the door. She was visibly pregnant and became restless as the wait dragged on. The shocking truth soon emerged. This woman was also Tyson's girlfriend, and the pregnancy she carried was his. It became clear that Tyson had been unfaithful, maintaining relationships with both women at the same time. Panicked at the thought of being caught, Tyson grew anxious. His primary girlfriend was outside waiting, and he did not want her to find Tabitha in his apartment. Inside, the tension between him and Tabitha quickly escalated. Neighbors later recalled hearing loud arguing and objects being thrown. In the midst of the heated altercation, Tyson made a horrific decision. Instead of ending the dispute peacefully, he grabbed Tabitha and threw her out of the fifth-floor window. At 10:59 p.m., exterior surveillance cameras captured Tabitha's unclothed body falling from the window into the alley below, a disturbing and violent end to her life. Witnesses reported hearing the sickening sound of her body hitting the ground, followed by an unsettling silence. Chillingly, Tyson did not react with panic. At 11:03 p.m., surveillance footage showed him calmly exiting the building, walking over to where Tabitha's body lay. He stood over her for several moments as if inspecting the scene, then turned back inside without calling for help. Tabitha's body remained in the alley for hours, abandoned and exposed. It wasn't until 6:11 a.m. the following morning that someone discovered her remains. Emergency responders arrived swiftly, but by 6:30 a.m., she was pronounced dead. Her body was taken for an autopsy to determine the cause of death. The news of Tabitha's tragic passing devastated her family and community. The brutality of her injuries and the circumstances of her fall left little doubt that foul play had occurred. Surveillance videos, witness testimonies, and evidence at the scene all pointed to Tyson. When questioned by police, Tyson initially denied knowing what had happened. Later, however, he admitted that he and Tabitha had fought in his apartment. He claimed that her clothing came off during the struggle and that she somehow fell out of the window. His explanation raised immediate suspicion. Investigators noted how implausible it was for her clothes to come off completely during a fight, and questioned why he had never reported the incident. Neighbors' accounts contradicted his version of events, and officers uncovered inconsistencies in his story. Further evidence came when body-worn camera footage allegedly captured Tyson telling a friend over the phone, "I threw the bitch out the window." This statement, along with the collected evidence, sealed his involvement in Tabitha's murder. Police also questioned Tyson's pregnant girlfriend, who had been outside the apartment that night. While she was not charged, her presence highlighted the tangled web of lies and relationships surrounding Tyson. When the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office released the autopsy results, they confirmed that Tabitha died from injuries caused by the fall, including a broken leg, severe facial injuries, and a lacerated heart. Tyson was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Meanwhile, Tabitha's loved ones mourned deeply. Friends and family organized candlelight vigils in her honor, sharing memories of her warmth, kindness, and love for life. They vowed to fight for justice in her name. The trial was an emotionally draining ordeal. Prosecutors presented a powerful case using surveillance footage, witness statements, and Tyson's recorded admission, portraying the killing as deliberate and calculated. They argued that Tyson's behavior after the crime showed not temporary rage but cold, heartless violence. In his defense, Tyson's attorney argued that he lived alone, had a child on the way, and that it was unclear whether Tabitha was pushed, jumped, or accidentally fell. Judge Mary Marubio disagreed with the defense's reasoning, pointing to the overwhelming evidence and denied bail. During the proceedings, it came to light that Tyson had a lengthy criminal history, having been sentenced to prison 8 times since 2003, mostly for drug offenses. The defense attempted to argue that the incident was a moment of uncontrollable anger rather than intentional murder, but the jury was unconvinced. Tyson's lack of remorse and calmness after the crime weighed heavily against him. Ultimately, the jury found Tyson Tillman guilty of first-degree murder. The judge condemned his actions as cruel and cowardly, sentencing him to 60 years in prison. For Tabitha's grieving family, the verdict brought some measure of closure, though it could never truly heal the loss of their beloved daughter. May Tabitha Tanner rest in peace. This is the analysis of Tabitha Tanner's story. 1. The victim. Tabitha Tanner was only 33 years old when her life was cut short. She was hardworking, passionate, and known for her cooking and positive influence online. Her death not only devastated her family, but also robbed her community of someone who brought joy and inspiration to others. She represents many young women whose lives end due to intimate partner violence. 2. The relationship dynamic. Tabitha became romantically involved with a man who, unbeknownst to her, was already in a relationship with another woman who was pregnant with his child. This secret double life created a dangerous web of deceit. When both women's lives collided at the apartment that night, it set the stage for confrontation, jealousy, and ultimately violence. 3. The incident. On July 7, 2022, what should have been a normal evening visit turned tragic. Surveillance cameras, witness statements, and physical evidence show that after a heated argument, Tabitha was thrown from a 5th-floor window. The brutality of her death highlights both the cruelty and impulsiveness of the act. What makes it worse is that her body was left in the alley overnight, with no immediate attempt to seek help. 4. The behavior of the perpetrator. Instead of showing remorse or panic, the man involved displayed a chilling calmness, walking over to Tabitha's body, staring at it, and then retreating inside without calling for help. Later, his shifting stories to the police, claiming she fell or that her clothes came off during the struggle, further exposed his dishonesty. Ultimately, his own recorded statement admitting he threw her out the window confirmed the truth. 5. The investigation law enforcement played a crucial role in unraveling the events of that night. Surveillance footage, neighbors' testimonies, inconsistencies in the suspect's statements, and even his own recorded confession on a police body camera built a strong case. This shows how modern technology and thorough police work are critical in securing justice. The trial and justice. During the trial, the prosecution presented overwhelming evidence of premeditated violence. The defense attempted to cast doubt, suggesting Tabitha might have jumped or accidentally fallen, but the jury was unconvinced. His criminal history of prior offenses only added weight to the case. In the end, he was sentenced to 60 years in prison, a sentence reflecting the gravity of his actions. 7. The bigger picture. This case is more than just the story of one woman's murder. It underscores recurring issues in society: domestic violence and femicide, where women lose their lives at the hands of intimate partners; deception in relationships, leading to betrayal, jealousy, and violence; the importance of accountability. Without surveillance and police diligence, justice might not have been served. 8. The legacy of Tabitha. For Tabitha's family, friends, and community, her death was a tragedy beyond words. But in their grief, they honored her with vigils, stories of her kindness, and a vow to seek justice. While the verdict offered some closure, it could never erase the pain of losing her.